The dance is a mess.
Abby has not invested the time that she needed to into this dance.
You know what, Maddie? Why don't you go in the other room and work on your solo? I want to teach dance. I want to be creative. Don't want to do this anymore.
If you thought Dance Moms couldn't get messier, more dramatic, or more explosive, just wait until you see what went down in part 15 of this never-ending saga of tears, tantrums, and walkouts. We're deep in the thick of it now, long past the point of no return. These moms are done. With Abby. With each other. With the show. And honestly, with the dance world altogether. This isn't just another episode. This is the moment when fractured friendships can't be glued back together, when Abby's harsh critiques push people over the edge, and when some of your favorite OGs say goodbye permanently. So buckle in, bestie, because part 15 is about to uncover the most shocking departures, the behind-the-scenes bitterness, and the final breaking points that made sure these moms, they were never coming back. You can always tell when the moms are truly mad. It's not when they're yelling. It's not when they're throwing shade in interview segments. It's when they go silent. You know, that heavy, icy kind of quiet? That was the vibe as the episode opened. No witty one-liners. No casual coffee chatter. Just a grim energy in the ALDC viewing room as Abby strutted in with her clipboard and that signature smug smirk. She knew she was stirring the pot, and she didn't care. The moms, on the other hand, were done playing nice. Holly looked like she was mentally drafting her resignation letter. Kira was barely hanging on. And Jessalyn? She was sharpening her claws, waiting for the moment to pounce. The air was thick with tension, and you could tell something was coming. Something big. We've seen Abby play favorites before, and we've seen her throw dancers under the bus when she's feeling petty. But this episode took things to a whole new level. Enter Kalani. Now, Kalani is usually Abby's golden girl. She's technical, polished, emotionally mature. But when Kira refused to comply with Abby's latest outrageous demand, something about a photo shoot, a costume change, and maybe a last-minute solo, Abby took it out on Kalani. Again. She pulled Kalani's solo. That's right, she snatched the routine hours before competition. No explanation. No room for redemption. Just cold, calculated sabotage. Kira's response? A jaw-clenched monologue about Abby's constant manipulation, followed by one of the realest lines we've ever heard on this show. She's not running a team. She's running a cult. And my daughter's not drinking the Kool-Aid. Mic drop. Underscore 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 underscore. Holly's had enough, and this time she means it. It's not the first time Holly has reached her breaking point, but this time it felt different. She wasn't yelling. She wasn't even trying to fight back. She was over it, in that calm, terrifying way only Dr. Holly can master. Watching Abby once again sideline Nia in favor of yet another flashy blonde was the final straw. Let's be real, Nia had earned her place. She put in the work, showed loyalty, endured years of being underestimated. And for what? To be overlooked for the umpteenth time? Holly gathered her things, walked out of the viewing room, and did not look back. Not even when the other moms tried to coax her back in. Not even when Nia burst into tears. And Abby? She didn't chase after them. She just muttered, "Bye, Felicia," under her breath. Charming. Meanwhile, Melissa was out here trying to play Switzerland, but the cracks were showing. She wanted peace, but she also wanted Abby's approval. And she especially didn't want Maddie or Mackenzie to be caught in the crossfire. So what did she do? She cried. A lot. She pleaded with the other moms to stay calm. She defended Abby, just a little. And she tried to spin every meltdown into a misunderstanding. Spoiler alert, it didn't work. Kira called her out. Holly called her out. Even Jill gave her a side eye that said, "Girl, no." Melissa may have been trying to keep the peace, but what she really did was alienate herself from the rest of the group. And the guilt? You could see it eating her alive. At first, Jill was doing her usual thing, making snide remarks from the sidelines, acting like she was above the drama while stirring the pot behind the scenes. But as the episode wore on, something shifted. Abby benched Kendall. For no reason. Just a snap decision to give another girl a chance. And Jill, who had begged Abby for Kendall's moment to shine, was humiliated. That's when we saw it, Jill's actual breaking point. No more fake smiles. No more pretending she was still #Team Abby. Just pure, unfiltered rage. Jill stood up, yanked Kendall's bag off the floor, and snarled, "We're not your backup dancers, Abby." And just like that, she joined the rebellion. Somehow, amidst the chaos, there was still a group number to be performed. Barely. With Kalani pulled, Nia in tears, Kendall in limbo, and no clear direction from Abby, the girls were left to figure it out on their own. It was messy. Rehearsal was a disaster. The choreography was unfinished. Costumes didn't fit. But you know what? They still danced their hearts out. Because that's what these girls do. Even when the moms are imploding. Even when Abby is sabotaging her own team. They show up. They perform. And they give everything. And honestly, it was one of the most emotional numbers in ALDC history. Not because of the technique, but because of the rawness behind every move. If you thought we'd already hit the peak of Dance Moms drama, think again. Part 15 is where everything truly unravels. We're talking icy silences, explosive confrontations, and the kind of emotional exits that feel like a slap to the face. This is where fractured friendships officially shatter. Loyalty gets tested beyond repair, and Abby Lee Miller's chokehold on the team starts slipping fast. Let's be clear, this isn't a petty fight or a dramatic episode that ends in reconciliation. This is the beginning of the end for some of the show's most iconic moms. After this, they're gone. And not just for a week or two. We mean never. Coming back. You know how Dance Moms usually opens. Chatter, snarky interviews, coffee cups, maybe even some passive-aggressive banter. But not this time. The episode kicks off with the ALDC viewing room completely silent. Like, eerie silent. No Holly lecturing Abby with her usual poise. No Jesselyn cracking jokes about the other moms. Just pure, uncomfortable tension. The air is thick with resentment and exhaustion. Abby walks in like she owns the place, smug as ever, clutching her clipboard like it holds the secrets to the universe. But even she can feel it. The vibe is off. She raises an eyebrow, scans the room, and doesn't say a word at first. Not even a snide comment about someone's outfit or a dig at Nia's performance. And that's when you know something's coming. Abby declares war and Kalani is the first casualty. Of course, it doesn't take long for Abby to light the match. She makes a last-minute announcement. Kalani's solo is cancelled. Just like that. No explanation. No reasoning. No room for negotiation. Kalani, one of the most consistent and technically strong dancers on the team, is pulled for absolutely no reason, other than the fact that her mom, Kira, refused to play Abby's game. Apparently, Abby had made some outlandish request involving a chaotic costume change, a last-minute photo shoot, and a creative pivot to Kalani's solo. Kira, who's been around the block, wasn't having it. She pushed back, and Abby retaliated. This wasn't just favoritism or manipulation. This was sabotage. Plain and simple. Kalani, heartbroken and blindsided, tries to keep it together. But Kira? Oh, Kira's done being polite. She's not running a team. She's running a cult. She snaps, her voice ice cold. And my daughter's not drinking the Kool-Aid. Boom. Mic drop. And just like that, Kira's fuse is lit. Holly's silent storm, the calm before the walkout. If there's one mom who's always tried to be rational, strategic, and even-tempered, it's Holly. But even she has a breaking point, and Abby finds it this episode. Nia, who has proven time and time again that she's just as talented and hardworking as anyone else on that team, gets snapped. Again. Abby picks another blonde newbie to feature. Nia's routine gets pushed to the back. And Holly? She doesn't even raise her voice. She just stands up, collects her things, and walks out. No screaming match. No dramatic declarations. Just a calm, cold exit that somehow hits harder than anything else we've seen. The other moms try to get her to stay. Even Nia cries, pleading with her mom to let her finish rehearsal. But Holly's done. Done being ignored. Done watching her daughter get treated like she's invisible. Done with Abby's twisted little dance universe. And Abby's reaction? A shrug. A smirk. And the nastiest whisper, "Bye, Felicia." If anyone still had doubts about Abby's lack of empathy, that line sealed it. Melissa's meltdown, aka the guilt tour no one asked for. Meanwhile, Melissa is melting down, per usual. But this time, she's not just crying for sympathy. She's crying because she knows she's losing her grip. For years, Melissa's managed to float above the drama, smile in the face of chaos, cry her way out of confrontations. But now, it's all unraveling. She's desperately trying to play neutral. She pleads with the other moms to stay calm, not to walk out. She says Abby doesn't mean it. She's just under stress. "Melissa bestie, what show have you been watching?" Kira calls her out. Holly gives her the death stare. And even Jill, who usually follows Melissa's lead, looks at her like, "Girl, this isn't it." Melissa wants to keep things civil because she's terrified of what Abby might do to Maddie and Mackenzie if the other moms bail. But her tears? They're not landing. They just make her look guilty, like she's picked her side and is trying to pretend she hasn't. At first, Jill's in her usual lane, rolling her eyes, making shady comments, pretending to be above it all while quietly feeding the fire. But then, Abby benches Kendall. Out of nowhere. No reason. No warning. Just, we're giving someone else a shot. Kendall, who's been busting her but is sidelined. Jill is humiliated. And suddenly, all that fake neutrality goes out the window. She stands up, grabs Kendall's bag, and says, "We're not your backup dancers, Abby." That's it. No more team player energy. No more pretending she's still on Abby's good side. Jill is done. Honestly, watching her finally crack was weirdly satisfying. Like, yes, Jill, welcome to the rebellion. Jesselyn's patience wears thin. You'd think Jesselyn would be thriving in this chaos. She usually is. But even she looks tired. She watches Kalani get pulled. She sees Nia's heartbreak. She hears Melissa's endless spin doctoring. And for once, Jess is quiet. That's how you know it's bad. Jesselyn isn't the loudest in the room this time. Not because she doesn't have something to say, but because she's trying to figure out whether this team is even worth staying on. Jojo is young, unique, and ambitious. She doesn't need this kind of toxic energy to thrive. Jess isn't walking out yet, but the thought is clearly brewing. Despite all this drama, there's still a group number. Somehow, Kalani's out. Nia's emotionally wrecked. Kendall's in limbo. The girls are confused, upset, and barely rehearsed. Costumes don't fit. Choreography is unfinished. Abby is missing in action, sulking in the back instead of actually leading. But the girls? They still perform. And it's raw, emotional, sloppy in places, but so deeply real that it doesn't matter. You can feel the pain in every move. The betrayal, the pressure, the confusion. It's not about winning this time. It's about survival. And somehow they pull it off. The moms watch from the wings, teary-eyed, knowing this might be the last time their girls dance together on the stage, at least under the ALDC banner. Backstage blow-up, Abby has no regrets. After the number, Abby doesn't say good job. She doesn't give notes. She doesn't even pretend to care that her team is falling apart. She just walks backstage, criticizes Nia's facials, and says Kendall was lucky to even be on stage. That's when Jesselyn snaps. "You are destroying these girls," she hisses. "And for what?" "Your ego." So, the moms are gone. Walked out. Bags packed. Vows made to never return. You'd think this would be the end of the drama, right? Oh, you sweet summer child. This isn't the end. It's the explosion after the bridge has already been set on fire. Because while the moms may be gone, the emotional shrapnel is everywhere. The ALDC is barely holding itself together, and the dancers are the ones left to pick up the pieces. Abby? Still pretending she's unfazed. Acting like she's in control. But her silence is louder than any of her shouting ever was, and trust us, she's about to spiral. Let's break down the immediate aftermath, the behind-the-scenes scramble, and the next generation of dancers Abby tries to throw into the fire to replace the moms who said, "Never again." Abby's spin cycle. The damage control tour begins. Within hours of Holly, Kira, Jill, and Jesselyn walking out, Abby's trying to rewrite the narrative. Cameras catch her on the phone, pacing like a maniac, muttering about ungrateful mothers and brats who think they're Beyoncé. She tells producers that she's better off without the drama, that she's finally free to work with girls who actually respect authority. But you can see it in her eyes, she's panicking. Why? Because her entire brand just walked out the door. The moms are the show. Without them, Abby's just a woman in a dance studio yelling at mirrors. Her solution? Start rebuilding immediately. Enter the replacement moms, aka. What is this lineup? Abby doesn't waste time. She immediately brings in new moms to audition for the role of ALDC backup parent. It's a carousel of desperation. Moms from previous auditions, a couple of overeager dance teachers, and even one mom who brought her daughter to nationals 3 years ago and thinks it counts as relevant experience. Each one walks in with the same energy, full glam, fake confidence, and zero understanding of what they're walking into. And Abby? She's on a power trip. She grills them one by one. What does loyalty mean to you? Would you let your child go on stage in a costume you hate? Have you ever stood up to a teacher? It's a full-on interrogation. One mom answers no to that last question, and Abby actually claps. Claps. Spoiler. None of these women are Holly, Kira, or Jesselyn. Not even close. But Abby doesn't care. She just needs warm bodies and wide-eyed dancers who will do as they're told. Meanwhile, the originals are not staying quiet. Just because the moms walked out doesn't mean they disappeared. By the next morning, Holly and Kira are already doing interviews. Not with the press yet, but with production. You can feel how different they are now. This isn't just reality show drama. This was personal. I never wanted it to end like this, Holly says, holding back tears. But I'm not going to watch my daughter be sacrificed for Abby's ego. Kira's even more direct. Kalani has a future in dance. Abby doesn't get to destroy that. Meanwhile, Jill is texting everyone trying to check in. Classic damage control. But no one's biting. Not even Melissa. Speaking of, Melissa's guilt spiral gets complicated. Melissa is now the last original mom left. And she knows it. She's torn between staying loyal to Abby and realizing she's completely alone. The guilt is eating her alive, but not enough to make her leave. Abby, sensing weakness, ropes her into co-leading the new moms. She wants Melissa to be the blueprint, the role model, the one who knows how things work. At first, Melissa agrees. She wants to keep her girls safe, keep the peace, be the bridge between the old and the new. But what she doesn't expect, the new moms hate her. They see her as a threat, a favorite, a relic from an era they weren't part of. One of them even calls her Abby's pet in a confessional. Melissa finally starts to crack. She cries again, but this time it feels different. It's not performative, it's exhausted. She knows she made her choice. And now, she's on an island. The dancers try to stay afloat. While the moms are burning bridges, the girls are doing what they've always done, dancing through the chaos. Nia, Kalani, and Kendall are now training privately. Holly pulled Nia from the ALDC completely, and she's back to vocal lessons and contemporary masterclasses. Kalani? Back to Arizona. But she's not quitting dance. She's just quitting the circus. And Kendall is in this weird limbo. Jill hasn't officially left the show, but she's keeping Kendall off camera until things calm down. That leaves Maddie and Mackenzie again. They're still at the ALDC. Still showing up to rehearsals. Still trying to deliver under Abby's watchful and increasingly frantic gaze. But it's obvious. They miss the team. The laughter, the friendships, the late-night sleepovers before competitions. All of it is gone. And Jojo? Jojo's in the most complicated position of all. Jesselyn's return. With a twist. After the walkout, Jesselyn takes Jojo home for a few days. But something shifts. Jojo's sad. Quiet. She tells her mom she misses the girls. She wants to dance. She doesn't want to give Abby the power to ruin what she loves. Jessalyn surprisingly listens. So she does the unthinkable, brings Jojo back. Alone. She doesn't come in all guns blazing. She walks in calmly. No eye rolls, no giant bows, no dramatic music. Abby stares at her like she's a ghost. You came crawling back? Jessalyn stares right back. No. Jojo came to dance. Not to worship you. The tension is palpable. Abby, too stunned to respond, lets Jojo stay. But it's clear, this isn't forgiveness. This is a standoff. The group number that broke everyone. The next week, Abby throws together a last-minute group number with the new kids. It's supposed to be edgy, dark, symbolic of rebirth, she says. Spoiler, it's a mess. The choreography is sloppy. The costumes look like leftovers from 3 seasons ago. And the emotion? Non-existent. Abby tries to force a tearful moment in rehearsal. She says, imagine being left behind by people you trusted. But none of these new girls get it. They weren't there. They didn't live through Abby's mind games. The number ends up placing 3rd, and Abby has a full-on meltdown. She screams. She cries. She blames everyone but herself. It's not about the choreography. It's not about the judges. It's about the fact that for the first time ever, she's irrelevant. She can replace moms. She can recruit dancers. But she can't recreate history. And now, she knows it. The episode ends with a rare solo confessional. No drama. No music. Just Abby in full glam, staring into the camera. I built this team from nothing, she says. I gave those girls everything. And their mothers threw it away. Then silence. She reaches for her phone. Scrolls. Scrolls again. We see the screen. No new texts. No calls from Jill. No messages from Kira. No group chats. Nothing. Just a woman who's realizing the world moved on, and she didn't. And as the screen fades to black, Abby whispers one last line. They'll come crawling back. They always do.